Let me ask you this. What is the largest wire transfer you've personally seen in a real estate transaction? Who's seen one over $100,000? $250,000? $500,000? $1 million? What's roughly the biggest one you've seen? $3.2 million. So anybody thinking that real estate is not being targeted, you absolutely are, and you are in the middle, right? Let's talk about wire fraud, because this is what wire fraud is. This is a case. A federal court upheld a jury's finding that a real estate agent and broker were 85% responsible for wire fraud that cost their client almost $200,000. That sucks, right? You don't want to be 85% responsible for $3.2 million, do you? Oh my gosh, could you imagine? What happened here? Like, how are they responsible? You're like, how's it my fault? Well, what happened? The real estate agent was serving as the middleman between the settlement agent and the client. And what do? Well, first of all, you shouldn't even be involved in it. You want to be able to say, I didn't wire the instructions. I wasn't involved in it. Second of all, you need to make sure that you're advising them correctly too. Before you wire the money, you need to call and verify that they're correct, right? Actually, last time I did it, the bank called, like they didn't even ask. They were like, we're gonna call and verify these. And they sat there while I was right in front of them and they called and verified. That's a great practice. Make sure your clients are doing that. Here's what happened though. The agent's email got compromised. They didn't tell anybody. And so what happened? Well, the person who compromised their email sat there and watched. They watched the email communications. They saw there was a pending transaction. They're familiar with the industry because this is what they do. They target real estate agents. And when it came time for closing, they said, here are your wiring instructions. You need to go today and wire your money before $200,000 before 5 p.m. today. Great. Trot up to the bank, wire the money, it's gone. You might, maybe, possibly, could get the money back if you notify the FBI within 24 hours, but that's one of those like every hour counts, and it's still very unlikely. Because once that money's gone, I mean, it's jumped around a million places, it's in a foreign country, it's in Russia, and you think they're gonna like help? No, of course not. Maybe it would have been different if they went to their client, the title company, and said, listen, my email was compromised, it was hacked, because they knew about it and they didn't tell anybody. And you go and you notify people and say, this is a problem, so if you get any emails from me, you better call me and verify that they're legitimate if they're asking you to do something. Had they just done that, they would not have been liable for $200,000. So if it happens, because sometimes we can have every measure of protection and still something happens, right? Still something can happen.